always have to wait for Quentin's signal.
Hit it.
So we're still on the subject of love. I kept thinking I was done with it at the end of next week, and then things transpired through the week. Actually, as I was on social media, that made me want to talk about love yet again. So last week we talked about namaste and what it meant. And that as we salute someone, we greet someone, and the God in us recognizes and sees and salutes the God in them, that we not only heal ourselves and the person we are greeting, but that we heal the world with that kind of energy. And we've talked about this before, but man, we got to go there again. It's not just for Sunday morning. A friend of mine, I forget the person she said who said this. She said she was going to church one day and the minister was talking about something, but what she remembered was that he said he thought perhaps there were these giant erasers in the doorway, so that with everybody left, whatever they learned when they were sitting got erased by the time they got to the parking lot.
There you go.
And I thought, what a thing, a picture to have in your head. And it made so much sense. And she said that she heard that years ago, and it just came up for her. Because we forget so quickly what it is we feel when we're in this room. And, you know, the other thing that's been coming up for me, it's interesting how my talks come together, but I kept hearing the song by Tina Turner, What's Love Got to Do with It? What's love got to do with it? And again, we're not talking about the human love that's fallible, that sometimes is dysfunctional, that we don't understand, or we sometimes is misplaced. We're talking about divine love, the love that comes from our divinity, that comes from our heart of hearts, from the core of who we are, and extending that into the world. And just like Maya Angelou said, it is hard some days to do that. It really is. And I think especially in this climate now, this political climate that we have, that we're in right now, and that's what kind of set me off. And I thought, oh gosh, we're going to talk about love again. Talk about love again. Because it's interesting. I am stopped in my tracks. The ugly things that I see posted on social media. And I even get stopped in my tracks when I see who posted. And in fact, I saw something this week and I felt like somebody almost hit me. Because I looked at the name, I went, oh gosh, really? Really? What's love got to do with it? Love has everything to do with it. Everything. I liked what Maya Angelou said. The brute, the bigot, the batterer are all children of God. All children of God. And when I started to contemplate that myself sometimes, decades ago, I was a victim of sexual assault. And I hated that man. For a very long time. There were days that I contemplated. I remember driving over to where he lived one night and sitting in that parking lot and wondering, how could I hurt him like he hurt me? And I don't know how long I sat there, but all I know was that I was eaten up inside because I just thought the pain that he put me through, he needed also to be put through. And it was late at night. It was probably 9, 10 o'clock at night. I'd just come from work. I had a job where I worked late in the evenings, and it just was eating me alive all the time. And I don't know how long I sat there, but at some point, I said, I can't do this. I can't hate him like this. First of all, he's never going to suffer from my hate. He's never going to know. He may never care. He may never care. And in the meantime, it's me that's getting eaten up alive. I'm only poisoning myself.
Yes.
Only poisoning myself. And it took me years. When I tell you it took me years, it took me a very long time to let that go and stop hating him. Years, folks, years. So it may be a long journey, but love has everything to do with it. I have no rancor in my heart whatsoever for that man now. None. None. I may never want to be in his presence again, because I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's doing the same thing he did then that he did to me. I don't know. But I don't hate him anymore. And my capacity to love, my capacity to open up, my capacity to keep loving and trusting in humanity blossomed after I let that crap go. So yes, it has everything to do with it. And so when we find ourselves in the midst of something, especially when we have company in our hating, when we have company in this urge, and it starts to feel good because there are others hating with us. There are others being judgmental with us. We all get together and we enjoy this feeling together because we can lash out, we can do that. We've got people who say, yeah, I think that's funny. Yeah, I think that's good. And it's not.
You're right.
It's not. And so I chose that song, The Courage to Love, because it takes courage to love when somebody is exhibiting something other than their divine selves. When the brute, the bigot, the babbler is showing up. When somebody we disagree with vehemently is doing something that's driving us nuts. That's when the courage to love. Love is only God is love. Yes. And we're the ones, because we're the ones who think we're so enlightened. You know, we talk, it's easy to talk this, we are one, God is love, we are love, oh, I love her, I love them, I love everybody. And then somebody says something on social media and suddenly we have the hair trigger thing happens and we are in it and enjoying it and saying some of the meanest things I've ever seen, ever heard. And I wonder if the same people would ever have the courage to say something that mean to somebody's face. There may be some who would. But social media gives us a veil. It gives us a screen. It lets us almost be anonymous because now, you know, your name's all over it. People know who you are. But we kind of sanction it because we also have hate for that same person. We dislike that same person. Somebody else posed a question on social media this past week. Said, can you love God and hate someone at the same time?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. If you truly believe God is love, and that we also are that God in expression, then I think the answer is no. Yeah. What's What's love got to do with it? Everything. Everything. All the time. We're back to 1 Corinthians. Love bears all things. Love bears all things. It didn't say some things. It didn't say the things you like. It didn't say the things you're comfortable with. It didn't say the people who agree with you. It said all things. All things. Everything, folks. Everything. The love that is God, bears all things. And so it may be a process to get there. Like I told you, it took me years to stop hating that man. Years. My God, I can't tell you how many years. And felt justified in my hate. I've never wanted to physically hurt anybody, ever, until him. Until him. So she's right. Just when you're thinking, oh, I could never do that. Wouldn't be me. Think about it. Yeah. So yes, the wonderful things that we recognize in each other, the greatness that we see in others and think we don't have that kind of greatness within us, yes we do. And then some of that base behavior that we also see and we say and we swear, wouldn't be me, couldn't be me. Yes, we are also capable of that. And that's when we have to call on love. Call on love. Dissolve what this is inside of me. That shadow part of us. It lives and breathes in us. And so perhaps next time when we see the post, when we're in a conversation and somebody starts to say something hateful, take a breath. And maybe at first you just don't join in. And you just let it simmer. And that takes courage to not join in. You know, it used to be peer pressure was just for, teenagers.
Get off Facebook. Get off. Get off.
All of us are subject to peer pressure. Yeah, especially when our peers are doing things and it unsettles us and it, gets us in the fight. We get rabid with them. Bring in that question. What's love got to do with this? What's love got to do with this? And am I going to be the one who's courageous today to be in love in this situation? Do I have the courage to do that? And so maybe the first step is not saying a thing, not joining in. And then maybe a little bit down the line, then you maybe change the subject. Take it somewhere positive. Segue doesn't have to be smooth. Just change the subject. I've just started to say in conversation, I don't want to talk about that. So if you want to go there, I got something else I got to do.
Cut it at the root, right?
Yeah, nip it in the bud, nip it in the bud. And then perhaps it takes a little bit more courage to turn it around and say, we are all God's children. We are all divine beings. And maybe we're not all expressing it the way we think they should and that we should. And just when you've got your fingers pointed at somebody else, we are most likely seeping into the same behavior. Most likely. That self-righteousness gets big and we keep thinking we know it all. I've got it right. They're wrong. I'm right. And perhaps they are wrong and you're right. But it doesn't give us license to be self-righteous and to denigrate them and to hate them and drag them through the mud, whether it's verbally, physically, whatever it is we're going to do. Courage to love. Like the lyrics in that song. Any fool can pull the trigger. Anyone can start a fight. But to love is so much bigger. It goes beyond just black or white. Yeah, we can pull the trigger. That's easy, right? We're mad. Buttons get pushed. Yeah. Sometimes it feels good to pull the trigger. I've done it all the time. You know, somebody says something, makes you mad, shoot it right back at them. Yeah. Years ago, that did make me feel good. I'm sure it did. Yeah, guess I told her. Is that who I want to be? I think that's always the question. How am I showing up right here, right now? And am I at peace with that? Can I go home and look in the mirror and say, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of how I showed up today. I was loved today. I was loved in that instance. And I've never been loved in that instance before. Yeah. I think in every single instance, whatever it is we encounter, you can ask, what's love got to do with this? What's love going to do with this? If you're asking the question, you're the one who's called to be loved right then. Right then. Because if you can ask the question, that means you're aware. It means you got the capacity. It means you know better. My husband was the other one who says, the one who says, when you know better, do better. Sometimes we don't know. But when you do know, there's no excuse. My father used to say that to me all the time. You know better. I don't have to tell you. And I did. He would just look at me. What happened? What happened, Kimberly Ann?
That second name.
Oh, yeah, full name came out. It was Kimberly Ann Andrews. He would just stand there. I don't know what that was, because I know you know better. Yeah. Yeah, we know better.
Yeah.
Yes. We know better.
Keep hearing that song on TV. I don't know why I love you, but I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
One of my favorite quotes from A Course in Miracles, there is no holier place on earth than where an ancient hatred has become a present love.
Yeah.
And that was the Master's whole life story. His teachings was
Mm-hmm.
living, being the love that we are. Being
Yes.
the love that you are. Everything we do has built-in consequences. We don't have to punish. We don't have to take the grudges because it's built in. We punish ourselves automatically. So the people that we're wanting to correct, we don't need to correct them. That's them and God.
Yes.
We don't, and us hating them is us hating ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why we're a holy spot is where we turn that around from hate to love.
Yes.
We've overcome the world like the Master did.
We get to turn it around.
Well, no, we're learning about Jesus.
You know, with all the separateness that we're experiencing right now, the hate and everything, I just thought about just now about our dollar bills that say, "In God we trust." If we could just put one of those in every, where you can see it every day,
Mm-hmm.
and know that it is. It's all in God's hands. Whatever we do, say, feel, or not feel, it's all an illusion. It's an illusion that unfortunately we're believing that it's real, or we think that it's real. Or some of us, I do at times, I get angry, and then I thank God for the Course in Miracles. I always come back to where, no, it's all about love.
Yes.
It's all about love. Unfortunately, some of us forget and put our own thoughts, our own beliefs, what he said, looking for love in all the wrong places. We just, we think that we know everything, when in reality, we don't know jack.
Yeah.
So now just now it came to me, that in God
In God we trust.
trust. And what is love? What is God is not love.
Mhm. Yeah. So we get to take a breath and breathe love into a situation. It is hard. It is hard. You know it is. And those situations keep coming up. And those are the times, it's kind of like boot camp. Keep working on it, keep working on it, keep working on it. And you get to love more, just when you think there isn't enough love. Or you think in this case, not enough love for that. I don't know how we conquer that. But the true source of love, the only source of real love, is infinite. It's infinite. Yeah. Love has everything to do with it. And are we going to be the ones, those of us who know, are we going to be the ones to show the way? And have the courage to love? Are we? Yeah. Especially when we profess that we are the ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike.
Came to my mind, you said, those of us who know. We all know, but we have to we all know, we just don't, it's just been covered up. It just covered up, and we don't see it, but we all know.
Yeah, we do know.
Yes.
Mhm.
Just,
To your point of can we love God and hate other people, I heard a story years ago about two brothers who were having a fight, a little brother and his older brother, and the little brother started crying, and the parents came running into the room, one from each end of the house. The father got there first. He picked up the little boy who was crying, and he reprimanded the older child, and he turned and carrying the little one who was cuddled up to his shoulder, and they started walking out the door. And the mom was watching from the other side. As the father was carrying the little boy out, he raised up, stuck his tongue out at his brother, and then started sobbing again. And the mother said, no, wait just a minute. You cannot hug your father's neck and love your father while you hate your brother.
Right, yeah.
And
Yeah,
we're
great
brought up
story.
that way. We're learning about Jesus and, right now, and talking about it and trying to figure out what his teachings were and everything. I mean, again, we just read about the crucifixion and stuff like that, but you can imagine those soldiers just beating the heck out of him. And it's just like if I come and start whooping on you, Judy, for nothing. I mean, you're gonna kind of like, hate me for slapping it, and stuff like that. So, I mean, probably those same thoughts were in his own mind, you know, but he, at the same time, when they came, you know, there's a certain suppression that you have to use about what that lady was talking about, you know?
And when we forgive, it doesn't mean we approve of the action, of the behavior.
That's right.
Forgiveness is never accepting unacceptable behavior.
Correct.
It's, we forgive because, like I said, because they're a child of God, and it's our holiness and their holiness and their Christ within that we're forgiving, not the action.
Right.
You're not, Jesus didn't love being beat up like that. He didn't appreciate it, but he knew that his strength, the strength it takes to forgive
Exactly.
is above the thinking of this world.
Yes.
Yeah. So that, I love that. So, and that means we have to raise our consciousness about that.
Yeah.
It's above what's
Rise above
happening. Yes, rise above it. Rise above it.
And now, the world needs us more than ever to rise. We better start rising above it. And every day, that's my lesson that's coming to me is, you know, I'm being called to live it every minute I can, every day.
Yes.
I know it, you know, and it's our time. It's our time to be it.
Yeah, if there ever was a time, this is it.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is it.
That's it.
Right here, right now.
Uh-huh, yeah,
It's hard.
yeah. I
It's
think we're
hard.
being tested.
It's hard.
And we're being
Every
called.
single day we're being tested with what is going on.
When there's real awfulness in another person, it's very hard. But the story that you told, it's almost inconceivable to think of that person as human being worthy of love. It's really hard, and we are being tested right now. But it's nice to say, I'm a work in progress, because every day I feel it, and every day I just go, this is not helpful. So I'm not there, but I'm trying.
Yeah, and I'm not there with everything either.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're all a work in progress, and I think as long as we're willing to keep moving forward
Yes.
and stay on that path of progress, then I think it's good.
But that brings up a good point. We should extend that love to ourselves, that you're
Yeah.
saying we should extend.
Yes.
If we're extending to others love in spite of unacceptable behavior, then we should extend, not to excuse unacceptable behavior, but to say, you know, we're doing the best that we can.
Progress, not perfection.
Progress, not perfection,
Because I
yes.
see a lot of people come in New Thought, because we say, you know, we're supposed to be the perfect spirit, this perfect Christ within. And if we fall short of that a little bit, we get a guilt complex over it. I've seen that, and there's no reason for that. Cut yourself
Right.
some slack.
Cut yourself some slack and just try to love a little bit more
That's right.
Yeah.
each day. Try to love a little bit more. And you get to decide what that looks like. You get to decide what that looks like.
Love is who we are. Love is who they are. They just are asleep. They're not aware of it.
Yeah, our ears are clear.
And we're also not as enlightened as we want to be. We're all walking toward the light. Some are walking a little ahead of others. That's why Jesus said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. They're not enlightened. They're not awake. But he showed us what to do. His life was everything about what we are to do.
Yes. Love and compassion.
Yeah.
I find it easier.
I think it's because what you're saying, Judy, that we are going through such a high level of insecurity and doubt, fear, that it doesn't make any sense, and yet that's what is, I believe, that's the level of insecurity and the level of doubt, the level of fear that is so real right now, you know, with what we hear and see, and nothing can cure that, nothing can erase that except love.
Right. Laura?
Yeah, love is the answer, yeah.
I mean, I find it easier to be in that moment if someone cuts me off, or even if someone is hateful on social media. I find myself easier to see it. But the big evils, the big stuff, the Mansons, the Jeffrey Dahmers, the big stuff, the rapists, those are the people, that's when I have my hard time, is when it's easy. I can see the humanness in a flawed human, because I'm flawed, but the big ones, that's where I struggle.
Yeah, that's one of the huge challenges. Yeah.
And that's where remembering it's not about what the action they did, it's about who they are. They are created in the image and likeness of the Father. They are our brothers. They are our brothers. The Father, God is our Father. We are all brothers. And he'll deal with them. They'll deal with their actions. It's built in, the consequences are built in, because as we're either taking a walk toward love or stepping back away from love with everything we do. And so to be separated is actually the meaning of hell. To be separated from the love that we are, what could be worse than to separate from life and love? So, they're just having some extremely difficult lessons. And who knows how many times we live and go through lessons. It's all about lessons. And if we can forgive ourselves for our mistakes, whatever they are, if we can forgive them, then we can forgive ourselves. If we can forgive others, we really probably can't forgive ourselves for our trespasses. It says, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Because it all comes down to who and what we all are in this world. And that's what Jesus' whole message was, is, we're here learning lessons, and we're by us rising up, we're going to rise up and bring them with us. And right now, this world needs our love more than anything and any time. We're quivering on the brink of destruction, and everything we've been studying and getting to learn, now's our time to not be afraid to put it out there, to put the love out there.
So let's breathe in love. Let's breathe in love as we go into meditation. Just breathe in love. If you want, put your hand over your heart. Whatever takes you to that space, bring it to mind right now. Hold it in your heart. Envision it in your mind's eye. Breathe into it. Just relax. Let yourself sink into it. Knowing that this love is you, as Judy said. That love is each one of us. Each of us in this room. All of our spiritual family, those who are not seated here with us today, but who live in our hearts because we are one community. Extend that love outside of these doors into this community Knowing and affirming that this love is infinite with no bounds. Nothing can contain it. Now see that love permeating around this entire nation, all of its people. Picture those especially who you may not agree with. And try to enfold them now in love. You don't have to resolve the conflict. That is love's job. Just open the door. Open the door to love. Open the door. Just be willing. And now let that love that is boundless surround this earth. All of its beings. Continue to feel it. Continue to hold it in your heart. And if it feels difficult, just let it be. Let yourself feel it. Don't be afraid of it. We're all holding the space for you. Breathe in love. And if there's a situation or a person right now in your life who is difficult to love, extend a namaste to them. Let the God in you salute the God in them. Let your heart of hearts extend itself to their heart of hearts. The goodness of them that is at their core, no matter what they exhibit on the outside. Just let it be. Let yourself be in it. Let's take a breath together, breathing in love. One love, one breath. Exhale, extending love, breathing it out. Let's breathe it in again. Namaste. Exhale, namaste. Inhale together one time, one more time. And exhale. Exhale. Knowing that at any time, in any situation, you can return to love. Return to love.